Hey everybody, just wanted to put up a video post. It's been a good while since I put one up. The game itself, for the benefit of ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, is going to be January 10th, 2015, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be played in Aston, Pennsylvania at the Iceworks Arena. Tickets are going to go on sale soon. The tickets are going to be $25 for the game. Just $10 more, $35 if you want to come to the game and then eat with us and the Flyers. They're going to stay afterwards and have dinner with us after the game. The arena holds 1,000 people. I would love to be able to fill that arena. So as many tickets as we can sell, that would be wonderful. Anybody who wants to go. I want it to be a memory, and it's going to be for me, obviously. This is a dream come true for me to be able to play with these guys. But I want it to be a memory for everybody. And a lot of friends and family have really mentioned how important it's going to be to them because they're looking forward to seeing the Flyers. Some of them are going to be teammates. We're called the Checkmates. That's the name of the team. And they are really happy to be a part of it. And so many of you have already sent emails that you're going to pledge some money, and I really appreciate that. And I've gotten messages on Facebook about who wants to buy tickets and who wants to donate. At the moment, what we're going to do, I'm going to set up a nonprofit organization for this. The reason being is it's much more difficult to collect money as an individual than it is as an organization. And I just want to make sure that everybody knows it's legitimate. I don't want anybody to feel like they're just writing a check to me. So I think it's easier for me to create a nonprofit. And the money is still going to go to the same place. It's going to go to the gastroenterologists out of Jefferson Hospital. So it's not going to change anything, but it's going to make life a little bit easier, I think, for companies to donate and for individuals to donate. So I'll let you know when that happens. I hope that happens in the next week or two. I want to thank all the people who are working to get this done. There's a lot of effort going on behind the scenes that people are not seeing, but friends and family are doing a lot of work besides raising money. They're helping me to create tickets for the event. They're helping me to find donors for jerseys and that type of thing. So we want to, I'm not going to thank everybody one by one right here, but you know who you are, and I want to thank you very much for that. This disease flies so low under the radar. All of these diseases do. The Crohn's disease, colitis, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, even IBS, which is not inflammatory bowel, but irritable bowel syndrome. These diseases may not take lives, but they definitely affect lives. No doubt about it. And I can tell you from experience. Now, I can only tell you from the experience of ulcerative colitis, but I've had it for 12 years. This is number 13, and it's not an easy disease to live with, especially early on. I was 28 years old when I was diagnosed, and I remember the first time I had to go into a store and buy a box of Depends because I didn't know when or where an ulcerative colitis attack was going to happen and where I was not going to be able to control my bowels. People who have these diseases know that one of the hallmarks of these diseases is fecal incontinence, and that's a terrible thing to live with. Even today, even though I'm not really in a terrible position right now, I'm not in remission, but I'm not very sick. But even now, I could go 6, 7, 8 months without having any kind of accident, and then one day I have one. So even now, I have to wear adult diapers, and that shouldn't be for somebody who's 39 years old, and it started at 28. And it is embarrassing, and it does take a little bit of your dignity away from you to walk up to an aisle and put that in your cart and have to wear adult diapers. It's not fun. I'm going to share a couple stories with you of what happens to me and what has happened to me. I remember this is probably 2 years in. I was diagnosed about 2 years, so about what, 2005 or so. 2006 maybe. I was working at a pharmaceutical company doing some training. Most of you know I do computer training and soft skills training. And I was wearing the diapers, and I drove to work. It was about a 2-hour ride, and I had an attack of ulcerative colitis that I couldn't control, and I had an accident. And I had to go into the building, and I had to get on an elevator with people, and I'm sure it wasn't pleasant for them. You could understand why, and it was definitely not pleasant for me. So embarrassing. And I had to go into the bathroom and clean myself up. And at that time, I was somewhat in denial. I really didn't bring extra clothes with me or extra diapers. I just figured, one accident if it happens, and that will be the last one. So I got up and I cleaned myself up. I went to the classroom and I started to teach. And about 45 minutes in, I felt the pangs again of uncontrollable diarrhea. And I stopped the class. I said, I have to take a break, and I ran out of the room and I ran for the bathroom, and I was already going as I was running to the bathroom, and I just felt so sick, not just physically but mentally. I didn't have any more diapers, so I didn't have any diaper on at the time, so it was a mess. And I had just had an accident in front of 12 people in a classroom, and that is one of the most embarrassing things that you could ever have happen to you, believe me. And I had to go back into that room, look into the eyes of those 12 people who were wonderful. They were so sympathetic. But I had to look at them and tell them that I had to leave. And they knew what happened. So I left. I put paper towels on the car seat, covered it with paper towels, drove to a clothes store, desperately trying to find clothing that I could buy because mine was completely soiled. And I had to go in that store, the mess that I was. I had to buy new pair of pants. I couldn't even try them on to make sure they fit. I bought a new shirt. I drove back to the company. I cleaned up. There was luckily a little shower stall near their gym that I was able to use to clean myself. And then I got dressed, and I went back upstairs, and I taught the class. I had to face those 12 people again, the same 12 people that had seen me have an accident just maybe an hour and a half before. And that sticks with you for a long time. That was really, really tough to take. It's very hard for me to go to the beach. Amy and Alex and Rebecca love to go to the beach, and I'm sure the kids would love to play with me on the beach. And we've done it a couple of times. But the amount of dread that I feel having to go to the beach is amazing, because I don't know what's going to happen. I could go to the beach and be fine for 4 hours and everything seems great, and then 2 seconds later I have some sort of a pain in my stomach or cramps, and I'm petrified now that I won't be able to hold it. And it's very hard because on the beach, Ocean City has a bathroom, but not all of them do. So the panic is, will I be able to hold for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, however long we're at the beach? So you wind up not doing things that you normally would want to do. It's embarrassing in meetings. I've been in meetings where we're discussing some important information. I remember I was working on a clinical trial at one time as a consultant, and being in meetings and having to leave in the middle of important conversations or conference calls. Having to leave classrooms in the middle of teaching. Abruptly having to stop the class and just run, go to the bathroom. And everybody knows why, because what else could it be? They see you disappear into the bathroom for however many minutes, and they know what's going on. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be in that position. Some of you know that I used to work at QVC as a consultant. They called me a subject matter expert for Dell computers, and I would do the Dell shows on television. And QVC is seen by millions and millions of people. I don't remember the numbers, but it's in the, let's say 25 million people at a time. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's millions. And could you imagine the dread that I felt as soon as I stepped onto that stage or the set, not knowing if I was going to be able to hold or not? And those were hour shows. So sometimes I'd be 45 minutes into a show and feel cramping. And the panic was in. Now, I was wearing the Depends at the time, But the panic was there that what if I have an accident in front of millions and millions of people? And it's a horrible feeling. And it's one that doesn't go away, even when I'm feeling good. And right now I'm doing okay. I have a colonoscopy coming up in 2 weeks, and I'll give everybody the information about that and how I'm doing, just as an update. But it's still something that's on your mind. When you have bouts of fecal incontinence and you don't know when they're coming, like I said, it could be 9-10 months, and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's over. Maybe I'll never have an accident again. And presto, there it is one day. I can't tell you how many times I've come home from a restaurant or from somewhere where we're out with the kids or whatever and have an accident, have to clean the car, have to get undressed outside. The indignity of in front of my kids having to hose myself down outside in the yard like an animal. And it's so frustrating. It's depressing. It makes you angry. And there's not a thing you can do about it. But maybe there is. And that's what this event is all about. And because of the positive that we're getting from this may become a yearly thing. And I hope it does, because I would love to try to get these diseases, if not eradicated, at least put into some sort of control with very safe drugs. Right now, the drugs that we take are not the safest in the world. They're not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination. No matter what people tell you, some people say these drugs will kill you. There is that potential, but the risks are not that high. In any event, I would prefer to take drugs that didn't have the serious side effects that are possible with what we have now. So that's what this is all about. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel sorry for me. I mean, sometimes I feel sorry for myself. And I do feel sorry for people who have this disease because I know how bad it is. But if you feel sorry, let's do something about it. Let's not sit back and say, yeah, well, it's depressing and it's a shame for Justin and for everybody else who has these diseases. I'm angry at this point. I want to fight back. And the only way I can do that is to help raise money to eradicate these diseases. That's the only thing that I can do. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a researcher. I can't figure out a way to stop them. But I sure as hell can put up a fight and help those who do know how to stop them. And I think the doctors at Jefferson Hospital have treated me so well, especially Dr. George Prieto, who's a wonderful doctor. I think giving them money is important. And the cure will never come in my lifetime, or at least it won't come while I'm young. It may come when I'm a bit older, but I got many more years to go with this. But if my kids ever get it, I want to know that there are therapies in the pipeline that are going to stop this or at least curtail it. I want to nip it in the bud as fast as we can. So I need your help. And the help is donations. Like I said, I'm going to set up a nonprofit organization. We'll have money donated there into the nonprofit organization. We're going to try to make this yearly instead of just one and done, because I think these diseases, just like ALS or cancer, we can't just say, okay, we've donated and it's over, because the diseases aren't done. Even though the research is paid for, there's more research that needs to be done. We got to find out what's causing these diseases, and we got to find out how to either stop them or how to treat them much better than we do. So again, the game is January 10th, 2015 in Aston, Pennsylvania, the Iceworks Arena. We're going to have tickets for sale pretty soon, $25 for the game, $35 for the game, and a meal afterwards. And any donations you want to send, I will post when the nonprofit organization is set up, and I'll then ask for the donations. And I really appreciate it. A lot of you have already said that you're going to donate, and I appreciate that very, very much. So let's knock this thing out. I want to fight, and I want you to fight with me. If we get together, we can do it. Just like every other disease, they need people. We need people to be warriors for this, and that's what I want to be. And I need you with me. I want to thank everybody again, and we'll have updates as we get closer to the game, and I'll also update in a couple of weeks about my condition. Thank you very much.